Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiant Central, and I'm your host Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So every now and again I receive emails from people asking me about feeding their children healthy food and asking me, what do I do? How do I go about feeding my child healthy, and especially living in a world where there's a lot of junk food available, a lot of fast food, a lot of treats, and how to find a balance. And what do I do to find that balance? And this is a great question because I'm sure every parent at some point or another deals with this, and probably over and over again at different stages of their child's life. And I'm a first-time mom. My daughter now is a year and a half. Her name's Luna Ray, and she's fabulous. And I'm still breastfeeding. Okay, so I'm following the World Health Organization's guidelines of breastfeeding till 2 years old. So I'm still doing that, but I'm also feeding her solid food. And I can honestly say that before she was born, I kind of envisioned things in a certain way. And as everyone knows, I'm very passionate about eating healthy, and I want to give her the best, and I want to make sure she's healthy and she's well taken care of and all of that. And so I envisioned her diet to be a certain way, and whenever I'd see parents feeding their kids like junk food or fast food, my skin would crawl. I would almost get anxious about it. It would make me uncomfortable seeing parents giving their kids junk food. And I always thought she would have the perfect diet and be eating a certain way, and that's how it would be. And it's always interesting to see how a lot of people who are about to have children sort of see things and envision things one way, but then when they have kids, it becomes another way. And that's something that I learned earlier on, was that I needed to find some sort of balance, because as much as I wanted things to be one way, she does live in a society where people are eating treat food, and that is fed to children, and she has her father and her families and people around her that want to be giving her treats once in a while. And how do I navigate that? Do I say no? Do I say yes? What do I do? And I have to say, in some ways, it's been an interesting journey, because I've been learning a lot just from observing how what I do, how that affects her, and what people around her do, and how to find a good, healthy balance that I feel good about it, she feels good about it, and everyone around her feels good. So what I've been doing is, I learned earlier on that if I don't give her treat food, she won't ever ask me for it. It's as simple as that. And so that's been kind of the standard, is that I don't give her treats, but people around her do once in a while, okay? And it's not every day, it's on occasion that maybe she goes out with her cousins and they have treats, or my husband might give her a treat once in a while, but it doesn't come from me. And so I don't go through that thing of every day having a child wanting to have snack food or treats or any of that, because it's not what we do at home. And so it makes it much easier. I would say for any parent that's becoming a parent, is if you want to have your kids eating healthy, I strongly recommend is have them associate you with eating healthy food, and have them associate other things, occasions, get-togethers, with having a treat. It makes it much, much easier. So you're not having to that tug of war of no, you can't have it, yes, you can. Especially too, is that if you're always just sending one message of eating healthy, and that's coming from you, then that's what they associate it with. So that's kind of what I do here, is I'm always giving her healthy food. And if my husband wants to give her a treat once in a while, it comes from him. So it's interesting to see that she'll ask him for it, but she'll never ask me. And if I'm the one that's feeding her most of her food, it becomes much easier. I don't mind her having a treat once in a while. I don't mind it at all. This is, we're not in a bubble. It's the real world, right? And she's going to be exposed to that either now or later on. And the treats are not daily. It's really on occasion. And I would say 90–95% of the time she's eating super healthy. And then once in a while she might have a little piece of a cookie or something. Not a big deal. And so that works. I also find too is that keeping everything at home healthy. If you're bringing in junk food into the home, then you're going to open up other issues as well. And that's where I see a problem is for a lot of parents, is that if they have that stuff in the house, then of course their kids are going to want it. At any age, the kids are so bright, they just take everything in like a sponge, that if they see something, they know the packaging, they know all of that. And so I would say is do your best to only have healthy food at home and keep the treats for when you go out, when it's an occasion, when it's a special time where you're leaving the home. Because that too, it's that they just come to know and expect to be eating healthy at home. And again, you're not dealing with that tug of war, that issue of kid demanding to have treat food. You know, because a lot of times when people say, oh, well, you know, their kid always wants the treats and they don't want to be eating healthy food, it's because somehow they see that they have an option. You know, so I find in ways the best thing to do is make the home base that the foundation of eating healthy. And it's also too, it's exposing your kids to many different foods, getting them to try different stuff, to be creative with the foods you're making, all of that. Like a lot of times people ask me, well, what do I feed my kid? Well, I try and feed her what we're eating to a certain degree. It won't be spicy, but it'll be, you know, vegetables and different dishes that are real foods. I'm not making baby food. You know, and trying to introduce her to different foods all the time, just to try it and to taste it, that too. And it's amazing to see, like, how much she does really love healthy food. She loves vegetables, loves broccoli. That's like her favorite food. Broccoli and grapes she loves, and different types of fruits and eggs. And so when she likes things, then I make sure to have that a lot and keep trying and introducing her to other new things. So also too is that sometimes we think that kids are not going to like something, but they might, and they might love it more than they like the treats. You never know. So in all, I find it's about having balance, and I find that the more I'm open to having balance, less stressed I am about it, and the less of a charge I put behind it as well. I find that if I'm resistant to something, then it creates an issue out of it. But I find if I'm more reminding myself to be balanced and to look at things in the bigger picture, then it's not as much of a stressful situation. I can also say too that I grew up in a very healthy household, okay, that my parents were very much into health food. And this was in the 70s and in the 80s, and it was a time when we weren't even allowed to have like white bread, or we didn't have desserts at home, nothing, you know, it was just always healthy food. And it was always the foundation of my diet and of my brother's diet, even today. Even today, my brother, who's like a 40-year-old bachelor, still eats a salad every single day, and he makes it himself, you know, because that was the foundation that we had when we were growing up. And so that's something too for any parent to know, is like, just based on my own experience growing up with that, is that becomes my foundation. But at the same time, I can also say too, is that growing up, even though my parents didn't give me treat food, I'd go and find the treat food somewhere else. I'd be eating the treat food at my friend's house or wherever. So I would find it, especially as I got older and I was a teenager and it was available to me one way or another, I would find it. But the balance was, at least at home, we were always eating healthy, you know, and as much as parents want to be able to control things, they really can't. But if you instill the value of eating healthy food in your kid and show them how great and fun and delicious it is, then it's something that they'll always go back to. Okay, so that's my experience with feeding my child healthy food. I'm still learning. I'm a new mom, so you know, it's every day is a new day. But this is what's been working for us so far. So I just want to end off by mentioning that the next 10-day juice fasting program starts next Tuesday, May 5th. I want to mention that this is the last 10-day juice fasting program that I'm going to be hosting. So I'm working on an updated new version of the juice fasting program. It's still going to be an online program, but there's changes to it. And one of the big changes is that it's actually going to be a shorter fasting program that I'm going to be hosting. So this is the last 10-day juice fasting program, last extended juice fasting program. After that, I'm going to be hosting a 5-day juice fasting program. And it's actually more like a 7-day. It's 5 days of fasting and 1 day transition on and another day transitioning off. And so if you want to be doing a long fast, next Tuesday, May 5th, is the last time I'm going to be hosting a long fast. And then after that, either starting in June or July, I'll be launching the new updated version, which is a much shorter juice fast. So if you want to do a long extended juice fast, come join us. The last one will be May 5th. It's an online program. Once you sign up, you get access to an online forum, you get access to 10 videos that walk you through the juice fast, and also an ebook that outlines the transition diet onto the fast and then also off the fast and how to do the juice fast. So last time we're going to be doing a 10-day juice fast, which is really exciting. And I'm really excited about the newer version that's going to be coming out hopefully in the next month or two. I'm not quite sure yet on the dates. I'm still working on it, but I'm trying to get it done as soon as possible. All right, so if you want more information on the upcoming juice fast starting next week, May 5th, you can go to my website at radiantcentral.com, click on juice fasting program, and you can sign up there. Have a super fabulous day, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.